Morning.
Morning.
Oh, wait. You gotta dance to the music. I forgot about that part.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Crank it up. I can hear it.
You know what, guys? I'm such an amateur right now. I got this order that's coming in last minute before Christmas, and it's throwing me right off. I swear to God, my whole day.
Come on, man. I thought we were dealing with professionals here. Help me out.
I'm a straight amateur right now. Anyways,
Okay.
Sheldon and Sandy, before we get started, let me just get the podcast sponsor out of the way, okay? Because I know once we get it rolling, it's going to be hard to get in here. So anyway, Skin Deep Aesthetics are the sponsor of the podcast. Skin Deep is a cosmetic medical aesthetics clinic, well known for their professional injectors with 18 years of combined experience. Winners of the 2020 and 2021 Consumers' Choice Awards. Medically directed by Dr. Long, they take pride in keeping an extremely clean clinic with a reputation of having the cream of the crop when talking about their staff. They take pride in having an open and honest discussion during the consultation process and really take time to make sure their clients are heard. They listen to their clients' goals and together create a plan that meets expectations. Located 5 minutes from Fit Club at 1068 Henderson Highway, you can contact them at 204-925-9779 or follow them on their social media platforms. So Sheldon, just so you know, I get Botox. I'm actually 74 years old. Did you know that?
Yeah. Hey, you're in great shape.
Looking good.
Looking good, buddy.
Good.
Yeah, I get needles every week. I'm just joking.
Wow.
Anyways, guys, so everybody who's listening right now, we have 2 coaches with us, so 4 in total. And today what we're going to do, since I have 4 of us, I thought we would just throw out all kinds of different advice and maybe a few experiences and the things we've learned from coaches, from 4 coaches' aspects. So, Sandy, I know that you have at one point been given the title of the super coach of the world or something like that. What was it again?
I like how you leveled up there. I like the level up there.
Can you explain that to everybody so we know?
Back in 2015, I won the top award in Canada through Canadian Fitness Professionals. It's an award that you get nominated by, peers in the industry or your clients. And it was a wild ride. It was a year leading up to with a lot of photo shoots and a lot of people following me around with cameras, including Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was a secret.
Yeah,
it was a crazy year leading up to it. And then when I won in Toronto, it was pretty wild. And I just basically brought it back for the community because you know what? We got a lot of amazing trainers here in Canada and Winnipeg especially.
Nice. That's probably a nice title to have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And Sheldon, quick background on Sheldon. He's the man who helped relieve my knee pain about 3 years ago when I had an injury, and there was all kinds of problems with my body, and I was introduced to Sheldon by RJ. They used to actually be neighbors, and I credit you mostly with helping fix my knee pain.
Thank you. Thank
so
you very much.
How would I title your profession? Massage therapist?
Well, yeah, one of my traits is massage therapy. I just work for helping family and friends, and one of my other professions is technician manager at IG Office Equipment. So we fix computers and printers and all that kind of stuff. While we're still Sandy and myself are still into strong with healthcare and helping people achieve better fitness and health. And through massage, I really enjoy helping people get out of pain, get more mobility, and just feel better about themselves and be able to, get what they want out of their lives.
And you're an instructor too.
And I'm a fitness instructor too.
Yeah, and also a judo. Where are you at in the judo world? I know you've been doing that for a long time as well.
That's right. I'm now a second degree black belt. I got graded December 2018.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I currently help coach at our club, the West Laguna Judo Club, with Mark Berger. And now we've recently merged with Pfeffer's club as well, at least for the COVID season. However long that decides to last, right? We were going pretty good for about a month and a half, and then the second wave hit, and we have to shut it all down for the time being.
Right.
Really looking forward to getting back into it, but I do enjoy training, competing, getting graded, and now helping coach young upcoming fighters that they want to go out there and win nationals and see how far they can take it.
So Sheldon, how do you think that's going to play out come the new year? So let's say January 8th, they've got, the vaccine is out and it's distributed. Obviously, it's not going to save everybody's, cure everybody's problems that they're dealing with right now. But let's say January, how is that going to progress in the judo world? Like contact, masks, like what's your prediction?
We did before the second wave and we had to close. We were wearing masks. It was optional at the time, but I decided to wear a mask, and it is a little bit harder to train with a mask. But I think in the end it'll make you a better athlete. Moving into January, it's really hard to say. Like with the vaccines, things are going to start dropping and rolling, and moving forward, and things will start opening up. So. I think that definitely things are going to be different everywhere. Like it's already different in judo. We have our designated spots. You have a designated partner. We used to partner up with, and switch partners throughout the practices. Now you're with the same person. Not a terrible thing either, but definitely things are very different. They will remain different for quite some time. I think there's going to be a new standard when this all comes back for judo, for jiu-jitsu, for gyms, for martial arts studios, dance studios. It's going to be different. Is it going to be better? Maybe. Maybe less people will get sick with the cold and flu because people are taking more precautions, washing their hands. I don't even know how many times I've gone to the men's washroom and you do your business, you wash your hands. I wash my hands, do my business, wash my hands again, and leave. And then I see some guys go in there, do their business, look at their hair, touch it, and then leave, not even touch their hands. And it's like,
you just described Rick.
Yeah, that's right.
You just described Rick.
Shake anybody's hand. Now it's getting real.
They're not gonna let me in their house anymore. Stop saying that.
Yeah.
That's funny. So let me ask you this, and this goes into the sports world. Like Rick and I are big sports guys. You're judo. Sandy, you into sports at all, or?
Yeah, actually, that was one of our biggest interests when we met 17 years ago. Is I have a black belt in Taekwondo, and with his judo, we did Muay Thai kickboxing together. He did have me doing judo, and so yeah, we have a real respect for sports, all sports, especially MMA. We're big UFC fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think that there's going to be a period of sports where there's just not going to be any talent? Because this is a year off, right? So you think about the kids that are in high school have it the worst, right? Because they're in a high school, they're playing for a high school team. You're looking at when I used to train kids back at Chief Peguis days, that was a full-time gig for them. They would be with me from April right until basically August, and then August they'd be with their teams. September they're full into the season, and it's just a rinse and repeat. Now I heard the WHL is getting pushed back again. So they might not start until February now. So that's a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like NHL can't even get their act together, and they're saying there might only be Canadian teams playing. So think about all the amateurs coming up, the 12, 13, 14-year-olds. That's where they get their prime development years.
Absolutely.
Now that's like they're taking a complete year off. Do you think there's going to be a wave of just poor athletes?
I don't know if they're necessarily going to be poor athletes. I think what's going to happen this year is they're going to have to train different ways. So they might not train the sport, but they're going to train their body. They're going to come in healthier, stronger, faster, leaner.
Less injuries?
Less injuries, more highly educated with respect to their body, because now they can focus on that instead of playing hockey, playing baseball.
They can watch tape. They can analyze the game better.
Yeah, so if anything, it might excel them into being an even better performer, because now they're going to really come in with a strong foundation in addition to their youthfulness and their skill set.
That's a really good point, Rick, because if you watch the NFL, the NFL kind of got rushed into the season. Usually they have X amount of preseason games. There's X amount of time off. There's, you know what I mean? They usually have a set schedule. But with COVID, I feel like a lot of the teams got forced back into play, and a lot of the big namers, like a couple running backs I could think of, these guys are getting paid $25, $30 million. ACL. One guy, ACL, MCL, LCL, meniscus, like the full blowout knee, and Achilles. Like there's just these. It's not even like the guy rolled his ankle, he's out for 3 weeks, right? These guys are full on. Like Drew Brees, he had 11 broken ribs, 4 punctures in his lungs. Like these are not small little injuries. And these guys are getting devastating injuries. Where if you were to rewound 20 years ago, these guys would have been like out of the league, right? But with fast track medical care and training and therapy and this and that, they'll be back within a year. But still, like these now, you go down to the lower levels. You go to the Western League, you go to the amateur judo. Like these guys, people are gonna get crushed if they're not taking advantage of this time right now.
Definitely more injuries are going to come up, and some of what I've done is train pro riders because I've been a horseback rider my whole life, and so in Manitoba, like being out here, like coming from the country and stuff like that, I train a lot of riders. And what's happening now with all the rodeos being canceled and all these things that are being canceled, and these guys, they're riding expensive horses. These horses, some of them are worth more than people's houses, and so what's happening is the horses are becoming deconditioned because there's less people allowed at the stables to even be working these poor guys. So they're becoming deconditioned. There's going to be injuries with them, and they're athletes. And then we've got the riders that are, they're getting deconditioned because, they're not riding as much. And then they need to look into more cross training and things like that. So I'm seeing sort of that side of things too. As an athlete's an athlete is an athlete, and whether it's a human being or an animal or what, you're at the elite level, the professional level, there's going to be a lot of bizarre injuries that maybe we wouldn't have normally have been seeing or been as extensive.
Do you feel like there's going to be a separation in fitness? Like right now, there's obviously a major problem with obesity, diabetes, heart disease. Like those were a problem pre-COVID. Now, do you feel like this is going to be like a bigger problem come 2021, even into 2022? Because there's going to be a lot of people that they can't do. Not that they can't. I feel like people refuse to do virtual workouts. People, if you live in Manitoba, as soon as it gets above, below zero, nobody wants to leave their house. So everybody kind of is either waiting or, and they're already having a hard time. I feel like there's going to be a massive spike of like very inactive people. Bone density is going to go down. Like I watched this movie. Pi always watches this movie called Wall-E. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, but basically they live on a spaceship, right? And so the Earth got polluted, so they all went to this like cruise line ship. They don't even walk around anymore, and they're talking about their bone density, and they're all obese, and they're sitting on these like floating chairs, and they're just sitting on computers all day. And I'm like, man, like that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. And so is there gonna be a big gap between the people that are at least attempting fitness and then the people that are just waiting or are just not going to deal with it? Do you feel like there's going to be a big problem?
I think that the people that are looking for the excuse will use it as an excuse, and the people who really want it will find a way and find a coach, find a system, find a program, a challenge, a group, anything to help them move forward. So I don't know. Yeah, there might be a gap because there are legitimately people out there that just they have no ability to do anything at home and they're just waiting. But most of us are do have the ability to do something, anything, and the people who are looking for excuses, they have the perfect excuse. So like, well, hey, COVID, I can't move.
Just I need to get creative.
Yeah, I mean, there's somebody I know in judo that gained a massive amount of weight, and they refuse to train. They have everything, all the tools available to them, and now they're, I don't know how much more overweight they are, and if they can't find their way and their reason to do it, they won't.
And I think it's just a massive learning curve for everyone, whether you're in the fitness industry as a service provider or whether if you're in the industry, like as a consumer coming to a gym. I think trying to navigate online will be hard for everyone. And then depending on how long we stay in lockdown and how long this is going to keep going in 2021 and what's going to happen in 2022, I think it's just, the learning curve and all of that. There's going to be people that are just going to be saying, no, I'm just not going to do anything, and I'm going to put Netflix on and eat candy.
and wait for it
to pass. And then there'll be others that'll be just looking for any option and just, it's not a lack of resources, just be resourceful. Tie the dog up to your sled. Way you go.
Back to basics.
Yeah. I mean, in the 80s, we didn't have all the stuff we have now, but we're all outside playing and having fun. And,
absolutely.
Sandy, let me ask you a question, since you got a lot of experience in this industry. And we're not going to go too far in the past, but I want your opinion on the present and in the future. But what have you noticed, let's say, from 10 years ago when you were coaching to how it is today? And then most importantly, how do you see this industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
Wow. Well, definitely so much has changed. When I came into the industry 15 years ago, we weren't using social media. We weren't on social media. You didn't have coaches that were that you couldn't, like, once you taught a class or once you saw a client, like, that was it. And you were keeping in contact through email or whatever, and so much more. There's so many more options now, but yet it's different. Like, coaches share their stories now. They never used to share. I think in a lot of ways it bridged the gap so that people could actually realize that coaches were actually human too.
Not robots.
Not robots, because I think, that's what happens. You come in and you train people and then they just think, wow, I'll never get there. So much has changed, and where things are going, I mean, time will tell. It's just like, I remember teaching, boot camp and cardio box, and it was a big thing, 15 years ago. Boot camps are still popular now. It's just like anything, that things are going to come and go. Systems are going to come and go, and there will be the things that will always be there and will continue to get better. Things like boot camp style, HIIT style classes will always kind of be there, but yoga and Pilates has kind of come and gone and come and gone and come and gone, and I don't see that changing. Like, I think there will always be the new thing coming, but there will always be the thing that was always there, the gyms. Like, I don't really think gyms are going anywhere. Are some struggling right now? Yeah. But I honestly think, like my mentor told me years ago, there's a place for everyone in this industry. And I think there has to be a facility for everyone in this place. And I think we need options for everyone, whether it's online and in person. So I don't think gyms are going anywhere. I think people are going to think a little different when they walk through the doors with all the body fluids flying around. We're going to be a little more cautious about hosing that mat down and go next. But, so I think a lot of things, some will still stay the same. There'll be a lot of changes along the way, just like it always has been.
Yeah. Sheldon, let me ask you this. I agree, Sandy. Let's go back. Gyms, for the most part, are always going to sort of be the same. There's always going to be advances, new equipment, new interior stuff like that, right? I feel like the next phase of gym is able to make it look very aesthetically pleasing. Maybe even plants. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have diffusers and humidifiers. You're gonna make everything a very clean environment. It's not just about working your muscles. It's gonna be working your skin. You're gonna have sun lamps, all kinds of stuff. Vitamin D. That's how I kind of foresee the gym experience moving in the future. But Sheldon, there's are you aware who Elon Musk is, owner of Tesla? Okay,
Tesla.
So he's created the device called Neuralink, and this is a question that I want to ask you and RJ, just because I'm curious about the future of health and wellness. And Neuralink is basically something that they surgically implant into the back of your skull, and it hooks up to your neurons, and basically it fixes whatever the brain tells the body that's wrong. This thing fixes it in between. So legitimately, it's supposed to heal things like dementia or any kind of neurological disease. So maybe if you're paralyzed, it could even unparalyze you, like some really incredible stuff. And so, Sheldon, what other kinds of things can you foresee technology helping us accomplish in this industry?
That's a good question. I mean, I like that Neuralink. That's great, and I think it would be great for for people, like you're saying, paralyzed or have neurological problems. Can it cure cancer, or can it stop you from doing the things that cause the disease, like smoking, drinking, eating poorly, stuff like that? I think that no matter how good the future is, that it all comes down to people's habits and what they want to do, what they're willing to do to have a better, healthy life. I do believe that the future advances in technology will help us heal faster, better, stronger. It definitely can help prevent diseases, and even now they can ID chromosomes before you're even born that can cause defects, and sometimes correct that as well. So I do see all that moving forward, getting better as the future goes. Just like, hey, eventually Star Trek, they'll be able to manufacture your limbs and body parts and stuff like that, and beam you a new arm on.
Well, I already have a titanium.
Sandy's already part robot,
we're
so
good, bring it on the technology.
Yeah.
I'm breaking fix it.
I personally think that a lot of body, well, not say body parts, but say knees and hips, will just be 3D printed and installed, literally, just like you would install something into a vehicle, and it'll become a little more rapid, a little faster, and probably a whole lot better.
Yeah.
I think the challenge, but you're right. Going back to the basics, Sheldon, just about choices. I think no matter what we do in the world as far as technology, unless we physically have our own little robot that hangs around with us and physically stops us from putting a cheeseburger in our mouth, it's never going to change.
So
right?
what about the pharmaceutical company? Do you think? I don't know if this is the trend because I don't know if it's something that people would buy into. But I mean, most of the pharmaceuticals are designed for after you get the problem, right? The only preventative ones that are created are like this vaccine. We want to give you a vaccine so that you don't get COVID. But what about giving us a prescription so that you don't get diabetes or so that you get rid of, your cravings? And I don't know, like get creative with it. I'm sure there's a market, but is somebody willing to invest money into preventative measures, right? Like it's better to get it. You'll make more money if somebody gets it and it becomes a scare versus like, hey, you might get this, so take this pill. You know what I mean? And
so it happened.
Yeah, before it happens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and when you think about it, we already have the ability for the preventative measures. You do too. You provide fitness, nutrition, supplements to your people, and you give them all the tools they need to better their lives and get healthier and to help fight disease. And we do it in our own way too. And yes, there are supplements can be taken in the form of a pill. Our supplements are taken in the form of drinks, smoothies and whatnot. We do have some pill supplements too. And herbs. We, currently I'm going to be 45 next month. Sandy's going to be 50 in February, and we currently do not take any medication for anything. We do not need.
Is there some wood we can knock on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I heard someone. Hang on.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
There we are.
So thankfully we're not diseased, sick, or need medication for anything. I might have a mild allergy to dust and stuff like that. I deal with that work during my full-time job, but other than that, I don't need medication that lowers my cholesterol or helps me with high blood pressure. I don't have any of those problems, and I think it's because of all our preventative measures that we take. And we even had a client that was all in and wanted to do all the stuff, and then she thought, I have to make a smoothie every day.
I'd rather take a pill.
That was her answer.
Yeah.
So that's really what it boils down with, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
what are you willing to do?
Yeah.
You guys in the gym, you would, you're providing everything to them, and then some people, they just want the pill, they just want the quick fix, and I don't think that part will ever change. There will always be somebody looking for that yesterday result.
The problem with our industry is it's the one thing that nobody can do for you. Like
That's
nobody
right.
can do that.
Exactly.
Nobody can do that burpee for you. Unfortunately, a robot cannot do that burpee for you.
No.
So although they can follow you around and make sure you don't eat cheeseburgers, they can't make you do a burpee.
They'd be like
And
slapping your
so that's
hand
what I'm talking about is like people put doctors as the authoritative, right, when it comes to health and wellness, right? Like they would take if a doctor in here rolled in here and I stood next to this guy and I knew everything about intermittent fasting or everything to do with supplements and everything to do with work, I'm pretty sure people would, unless they know me, would say, okay, he's got the letters behind him, so let's listen to what he has to say. And so just knowing that, if the pharmacy company came out with something that they could say, hey, like here's a preventative, there's no side effects, and this could prevent diabetes by 50%. Start prescribing this to your clients. Would that be an approach? Like, could that be something that, because you're right, everybody wants the quick. I want the quick fix. Like, who doesn't want it, right? Like, I do burpees because I'm sadistic, right? But I not everybody has that relationship with fitness, and so if we could find a way to make it as easy as possible for people, then I think that would be something that potentially somebody could look into in the future, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, Sandy, let me ask you this on RJ's point about the doctor versus the coach. All right. So we know that doctors are good at fixing the problem after the fact, right? Coaches are here in order to help you do the things you need in order to prevent sickness and injury. Who do you think everybody should, or most people should listen to? Should it be the doctor or should it be the coaches? Like RJ was saying, as long as you're a doctor, you have a white coat and some glasses, all of a sudden your word is gospel. But for some reason, we have this challenge of getting people to sort of listen to what we're telling them, because I don't know, maybe because we work in short shorts or something like that, and they don't,
And we wear pink.
and we have fun. I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do we shift people's minds to understand that what we do is going to be far beneficial for their health, as opposed to once they're sick and they get a pill?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? And I think it really comes down to, networking with those professionals. So we've worked on that over the years, and I know that you guys have as well, as, networking with other professionals, because really an RX or a prescription for a client shouldn't be just, exercise and follow this meal plan and that. It should be like, well, maybe we need some Chinese medicine, maybe we need some herbs, maybe we need acupuncture, talk to your doctor, let's look at that, let's get some blood work. And I think it takes a village. I think it really takes a village. So who should you be listening to, one more than the other? I don't really think it's one more than the other. I think it's just everyone has their place. And I think a lot of times people will recognize the white coats over the pink little shorts, because right? I mean, it's like, whatever. If RJ rocks the shorts, let him rock the shorts.
Shorter the better.
And I just think, it's so whether they're wearing the white coats or not, it shouldn't be that. I think, whether it's a degree or whether it's a certification or how much education and experience it is, I think it really comes down to, you need all the facts, you need all the things. And what a lot of people don't realize is that, a general practitioner, a lot of times, unless they've taken extra education, and I mean, we have general GP doctors like in the family and stuff like that, like they don't necessarily have like taken the additional nutritional extra certifications, degrees, knowledge, or whatever that a coach would have been able to add on. You've got this, and you've taken the metabolic typing, you've done, there's so many things. And I think people need to realize that when you see a coach in shorts, don't think that they're not running around with all the knowledge, right? All the experience, right? Yeah. So I think they really need to have everyone. It's really, everyone's got something to bring to the table. Right?
And not all doctors are healthy. What if your doctor's obese and they're telling you need to lose weight? Well, are you going to look to them for their advice? No.
And that's
they don't know.
That's mostly true. That's mostly what it is out there. Yeah.
So Sandy, we got some audiences that are showing you some love. Helly Hart says hi. Sandra Funk. She says that you were her first boot camp trainer. She's one of our.
Oh my! You know what? I never even told anyone we were doing this.
Yeah. Colleen Barak, B-A-Y-R-A. She says, "Hello, Sandy. Merry Christmas."
Oh my word!
Yeah.
So, okay, don't make me cry, people.
Oh yeah. Let's get those tears out, Rick. So you know what? I 100% agree with you, Sandy. And I have a small team of people that I send our clients to, and this is the advice I would give to other chiropractors, physios, GPs, massage therapists, is like, you gotta work with people that, like, if I send you a client, so for instance, I have one physio that I send all of our clients to, and because their injuries are beyond my scope, right? The guy's got a pinched nerve in his neck. I can help you a little bit, but this is not like, you're here to get fit and this and that. We're not here to rehab you. So I send them to him. He does the assessment. Me and him have a conversation back and forth. Then he sends them back, and his key focus is to get them back to their daily living, but the key focus is to get them back to working out, because if they're back to working out, they can do the rest of their kind of like daily living. And so one of my recommendations to chiropractors is that if we do send people to you, or we send somebody to a GP, like we have a guy, Marvin, and he's a NP, so he's a health nurse, right? And he can do everything virtually as a new clinic. We send people to him, and it's in a turn. Like, we want to keep these guys fit, healthy, moving, and keep them coming back. Don't say, hey, because I'm busy, I need you to take 6 weeks off. You know what I mean? For a sprained pinky, right? Like, I sent you to him for a sprained pinky. Don't tell him to take 6 weeks off. What modifications can we do? Let's work together here. So that's one of the things I agree, is that if we can build a team of people that we refer to, people that specialize, then, I send people to Sheldon, like Rick, right? So one of the questions I ask is, what kind of massage can you handle, right? And I have my hardcore elbows, like me, Sheldon, deeper is always better, right? So I have my massage therapist for that, and then I have more of the therapeutic approach where guys like I can send Rick to somebody else and he'll never go see that person again.
Yeah.
But I could send Rick to somebody like you, and he'll continue to see you. So it's all specific, right?
I enjoy Sheldon's touch.
Yeah. You know what? So when I first had my knee fracture, so what was that, like a year and a bit ago? Last 2 Februaries ago, and I remember I didn't see you for probably the first 30 to 45 days because I was like, I couldn't even be touched, man. Like, I didn't want anybody going near, and I got a pretty high pain tolerance, I think, right? Yeah. I'm back jumping around. It's been a year later. Most people, this would take them 10 years. And I remember this is like, hey, Sheldon, just ease on the leg there. And he literally just, like, brushed me. And I was like, okay, that's all I can handle for today.
Yeah, I remember. I actually had to come to your house.
Yeah, because I couldn't move. I couldn't move. Yeah. So.
House calls.
House call. Yeah, I walked over to your house.
Whatever it takes.
I think that's an important thing to mention is the importance of having somebody's hands manipulating your body to fix your problems.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize when my knee was injured, as injured as it was, that by Sheldon working on my shoulder, the back of my neck, or into my rib cage, that all of a sudden my knee would be fixed. Like I didn't understand the correlation between the two, and nobody does until you experience it. So I think one of the things that we should always remember is just going back to the whole where it takes a village is make sure you have somebody who is your nutrition advisor, somebody who's going to be the person who I always just say put hands on you because everybody has a different style. Athletic therapy, massage therapy, somebody who's literally putting their hands and rubbing you down in whatever capacity. Have one of those people in your corner because they're so important. And I would have never ever have said that out loud until I got fixed, until my knee got fixed. I didn't understand.
Because you're in pain for a long time.
I was, and it was extreme pain. Yeah. So I really learned a lot by going through that whole process. I'm going to shift the gears here a little bit. I want to know from all of you guys. I'll ask you specifically, Sandy. I'm going to start with you. We're coaches. We always want to get people thin, in shape. And not as heavy as they are. You're ripped. You've always been ripped for as long as I've known you. I've never seen you do the fat to fit. You're just a fit. What do you love about having the body that you have? And what is the motivation people should have?
The outfits.
Honestly,
the outfits.
Outfits, yeah. You want to look good. You want to look good, right?
Yeah.
Well, seriously, one of the best things about being in shape, and it's not going to be maybe the classic answer, but actually being able to do what I want, when I want, for how long I want. And I'm in better shape now at 49 than I was in my 20s. I can go and ride my horse, which is very physical. I can do workouts. If somebody wants to go glow bowling, well, that isn't going to happen right now. But I mean, it's just, or rock climb, or go on a trip. And if you go on a trip and then all of a sudden somebody says, oh, by the way, there's going to be like a 4-hour hike. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, 4-hour hike, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be able to handle that. I'm going to die on that hike. And so the thing about it is you keep yourself in shape for life, for basically what you want to do. I mean, people will call it functional fitness. Like I want to look good, obviously, but I also want to be able to do what I want, when I want, how much I want. And I have clients that, live at their cottages and stuff like that. And they're like, you know what, if they weren't working out, they wouldn't be able to push the wheelbarrow around or run with the dog or get with the kids or the grandkids or whatever, you know what I mean? And
or keep up.
Sheldon, what do you love? What do you love about being in shape?
It feels good. I love feeling great 85 to 90% of the time. Sometimes, even when you're in shape, you tweak something here and tweak something there, and pain sucks. Another thing is when you do get injured, and I've recently done that twice, just doing renos in my garage. First it was an upper back thing. And, sometimes you got to break something to let it heal right so it gets better. So I think that's, old injury that caused me problems and then re-aggravated it. The nice thing about being in shape is that you can heal 2, 3 times, 4 times faster than you would if you weren't. Getting the proper therapy, I got the chiropractor on it, massage, as soon as the inflammation went down, and that really helped. And then I tweaked my lower back shortly after, as soon as that got better.
Yeah.
So I'm currently dealing with that, but it's already getting better. It's only been about a week.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
a little bit more than that.
So the ability to heal faster, quicker through injuries.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
RJ? Sorry.
Well,
RJ?
yeah, and I was just thinking about that, like that injury that you had, your shoulder and your back. Look at, you're standing upright, you're there, you're not wincing, you're not in pain, you're not on the couch taking a
No.
painkiller, laying in the background, right? And
No.
so a lot of people, they got to understand that is that the preventative portion of it, right? Like your small injury could have been somebody's devastating injury where they'd had to take 6 months off, and then so for
Absolutely.
that 6 months of your life, you're 45 years old, but yet you're moving around like you're 85. And
That's
so,
right.
you know, to me, that's probably one of the most important things is people take advantage of their daily health. Like everybody right now is like, you know what, it's not that important until they get sick or until they get injured. And then the only thing I remember when I first got hurt with my knee, the only thing I ever wanted was to feel normal, right?
Yeah.
And the pain, I was always tired. I was, you know what I mean? There's no way I could progress in life because all my brain was clouded. And so it's like people are walking around in this fog because they're not taking the points to get better. And it doesn't matter what excuse. Like I honestly, I try to think of any excuses I have, and I don't, and I have a hard time with excuses. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to I'm not your drill sergeant. I'm not this and that, but I just think that anything you want to do, you can freaking do it. And it doesn't matter how old you are. The only thing that gets harder as you age is everything that you've done 5 years ago or even like last year or whatever it is, everything you've done to that point made it hard on you. But it doesn't mean that it can't get better. But it doesn't get better unless you start right now. Like, don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till this afternoon. Don't wait for an hour. Like, forget it. Do it right now. And I almost swore there.
Yeah.
I almost swore. What about you, Rick?
It could always get better.
Yeah, I mean, and you know,
Like
even
titanium.
your titanium ankle. I mean, she had a very, even when everything was healed and she did all her rehab, and it was years later. I'm looking at it, and she said I can't do a full squat, and you know, I'm like, well, we can work on that. And you can always, and I'd say you have about 98% mobility.
Yeah,
now.
they told me I would never walk properly again. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
I told her she'd have a club foot.
Exactly. Just because they say that, just because they say that, and they're in a position of authority, doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
I have two choices.
Yeah.
Stop everything.
Stop everything.
Or show them what I said. Watch me.
Yeah.
That was my words. I said, watch me.
Yeah.
So would you say that
No, that's like-
would you say that attitude may be the ultimate life hack?
Attitude. I wouldn't say ultimate. I say it's huge. It's huge. It's very, very, very important to have the right positive attitude and wanting to progress. I think if you don't progress, and if you don't have the attitude that you want to progress, then you know you just stay the same, or you go backwards, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
So definitely, it's part of the big puzzle. It's a huge part of it. I don't believe it's the only thing. The most important. I don't know if it's the most important, but I don't think it's the only thing.
I think it definitely plays a big part. I mean, if you came into 2020 and you had a bad attitude, let me tell you, it didn't get much better after that.
You know what? I was listening to this podcast, and this woman's a neurologist, right? So she studies the connections in your brain, and she said that it actually takes 10 seconds before your brain comprehends what you're telling it. And she says, you think that you think hard? She says your brain thinks harder than your thoughts. And so she says it takes 10 seconds. So whatever you're festering, so if you have a negative thought, she puts it this way. You have the negative thought, and in 10 seconds, unless you change that negative thought, your brain turns that into a mini city. And that city, if it continues down that spiral, we were talking about this guy I know, and he just thought everybody was against him. He thought he was entitled. He thought he earned, and everything started stacking up to the point where he smashed a window. Okay, like he just lost it. He lost his cool, and everything led up to that point. So his little city of a negative one thought turned into a town, which turned into a city, which turned into a province, which turned into a country in his brain. And Tony Robbins, everybody knows who he talks about changing your physiology. And so now I made the connection between the two. Your negative thought can turn from a small thing into everything in your life. But here's the positive output of this, is that you can flip the script on that. But you got to understand that your positive thought is going to start as a city, which if you continue with that positive thought and the positive like outcome and mindset and all that, then it's going to turn into a bigger thing, into a town, into a city, into a province, into a country. Next thing you know, it's your entire world. And so you can flip the script, but it has to start now.
Now.
Like literally right now. You're listening to this podcast right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now.
Like, right now.
So
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, the countdown.
to add to that comment, so Sheldon, I would agree with you, or I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I personally think attitude is 100% everything. And I'll just use an example of when people come into the gym, just like how they came into your gym. If they have a negative attitude, they're already going to hate the workout. They're going to feel shitty. It's going to suck. They're going to look stupid and foolish. But if you roll in here and just be like, whatever, I got to do it. I'm going to do it. No matter what happens to you, you're going to pull the positive out of it.
Yeah.
And once you almost like open yourself up and embrace the change or embrace what's going to happen to you with a positive attitude, what stops you?
Nothing.
What can actually stop you?
Nothing.
It really can't, right? And I know, and just referencing motivational speakers, I know there's this one guy, I can never remember his name, but he has no legs, okay? He's just a torso. He's got no arms, and all he has is like this little hook of a leg.
Yeah.
And he gets around, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
And he gets around on stage and he moves. This guy swims. No arms, no legs, and he swims and he talks about it. And he never has anything to say. Like, if there's somebody that should be negative in life, it would be a guy like this guy.
Every disadvantage.
Everything. And he's just out there and he's got a microphone on and he's telling people to stop complaining about stuff. Like that's what I'm saying. If he can do it by positive thoughts, you can do anything, right?
I think us being coaches gives us a bit of an advantage because where in the world, name one other place, Sheldon, Sandy, Rick, where somebody's walking around, hey, awesome job. Hey, Rick, you drank that coffee.
Nowhere.
Awesome, bro. Like,
Nowhere.
hey, good job on that call today, man. You absolutely crushed it. Let's keep going, Rick. What's the next thing, Rick? Come on, Rick. You know what I mean? Like, nobody is walking around like that.
Yeah.
In fact, in your brain, you're saying the opposite, right? Like, I can't do this. Oh, social media says this. Oh, there's a spike in that. Oh, we need to wear masks. You know what I mean? It's like all these things are coming at you hard.
Yeah.
And so I think with us coaches, when somebody walks in, and Rick does a great job of this, I haven't seen you guys do it, but I'm assuming you would do this too. If somebody walks in a bad mood, you're immediately 180. Like, I'm the other polar opposite of that. How do I make this person smile?
Yeah.
And so I think when you start to give more, you don't have to be a certified coach. You don't have to be a Fit Club coach. You don't have to be a Beachbody coach. You don't have to be any of that. Just start doing small things like that. It's going to feel weird at first because that's like us wearing the tight little pink shorts, right? Like it's at first you're like, oh God, this is weird. Everybody's judging me. I feel so stupid. I'm showing too much leg. And then eventually you're like, hey, this is me now. Hey, I love it. Embrace it. And then everybody's like, yeah, I want to see those shorts.
Yeah.
Like everybody gets so fired up about
And
it.
then everybody wants to buy the shorts.
And then now you got a trend of short wears. And that's basically what it starts, right?
Yeah.
So if you believe enough in what you're doing, people will follow you, right? And it's easy to either be attracted to negativity because that's where our body and our brain wants to go first. It's like everybody, your body doesn't want to burn calories, right? Your body doesn't want to maintain muscle. It wants to sit on the couch. It wants you to watch Netflix. It wants you to eat a bag of chips. Like that's just the way that your body's built out. Nothing wrong with that. We already know that now. Okay, so what do we need to do to get the opposite end of that life is we need to do the opposite. So if we want to be more of an outgoing person, we want to feel good more, we have to put that out in the world. It can't start by you expecting your spouse, your coach, your boss, like they can't give that to you. If they do that, that's a bonus. You have to give out more than you expect to get in.
Right.
Good point.
Absolutely.
Good point. Let me backtrack. I know you guys got your points in about the positives about being in shape. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get my answer in there, but I'm going to tell you what it is. I agree with everything that you guys said.
Now we're back to the beginning of the
things. I got to get my point in.
Here we go.
Okay, all right.
Let's go.
Two things. Sheldon, you and me are the same age. Isn't it nice to stand next to a 45-year-old, or Sandy for sure, someone next one of your peers, and you just look like you're 20 years younger and you can do anything?
Alpha males.
Doesn't it feel good?
Alpha males.
Yes.
I love it. That's one of the things that I love to do, and you guys tell me if this matters to you, but I love the fact that my wife wants to have sex with me all the time.
That's a good point.
I roll in there with no shirt on or whatever, and I can just hear her doing like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell me, isn't that a great part of being fit? As a married couple, isn't it nice that you're still so sexually attracted to each other?
That's a big
yes.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Rick, you have your how many times should somebody have sex?
Yep.
So why don't you share that?
Like what, a week, a day?
Yeah. What's the minimum?
Which one?
What is the minimum?
The minimum is twice a week.
There you go.
Once during the weekday, and then of course you got to have your weekend. And the weekend can be whatever, but it has to be minimum one. That's what I think.
Minimum one a week.
Yeah. Sheldon?
Once or twice a day would be great.
Sandy's like, can you keep up?
Sandy's like, that's it? That's it? Go drink a smoothie, Sheldon. Let's go, buddy.
Yeah. Smoothies work.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
So I agree with Rick. I think minimum once a week is you have to make that connection, and if not, then you need to start looking at the relationship, because we have kids, right? I have a career, Neri has a career, and I think that everybody gets caught. The more stuff you have, the more things you got in your life, the more it's easy to bury the bare minimum of what your relationship was when you guys first got together. And so being intimate is part of that. Holding hands, right? You guys were hugging each other. Like, those are all connections that you need to make, because otherwise you become from a relationship to a partnership to a business partner.
Then you're just roommates.
You're just roommates.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just watching you guys on screen here, you can tell that you really love each other. You have a great energy together. Your energy is together, not separated. And the way you're looking at each other when you're talking, it's really nice. It's really special, and I love that about your relationship. And I've known you guys now for, I don't know, 2 years, I guess.
So let's ask them how they keep the spark.
Hey, great question.
Let's give some advice to our
Why don't we
our
get into some
viewers?
relationship advice, RJ?
Isn't that the name of the
How
show?
about that?
Yeah.
Sandy, you seem fired up about this. Why don't you give our audience a few tips on how do you keep that marriage alive and happy?
And we've been together 17 years, and I feel like we're still dating. And I think it really comes down to the simple things. I mean, we message each other every day. So he'll be busy on service calls. I'm busy doing my thing. I'm still messaging. Hey, just a simple, hey, how's your day going? Even if it takes 4 hours to get back to me, it doesn't matter. Hey, just a little reach out. Recognizing the little things all the time, little presents, little surprises, little, when we used to go out to movies all the time, date night, COVID, now it's date night in the basement, but just always at a certain time in the evening, we say, okay, it's family time. And, we don't have kids, but we have fur babies, and it's really important to just have that time together and just look at each other and say, hey, how was your day? And just it really comes down to the simple things, right?
Yeah.
Sheldon?
Sheldon?
Yeah.
What kind of advice do you have? How do we keep relationships awesome forever and ever?
I definitely listen to one another. Like, if your spouse or your partner is telling you, having trouble with such and such, let them talk it out. Most of the time, they'll figure it out as they're talking to you about it, and you don't even have to give any advice. But
so true.
Yeah, but be there as somebody, because you're in it together. Help out, listen to the problem. Even if you say, you know what, that's a really tough one. Let me think on that, or but just talking it out can really help, and also brings you closer together because you're helping one another. Yeah. Another thing is let Sandy go through her 3-step process.
Oh, here we go.
Anything new?
Nice.
Here we go.
Anything new I want to introduce is a 3-step process.
We're listening, Sheldon.
Yeah, what's a 3-step process? Write it down.
Right, so
what is
first
it? PowerPoint.
No, first is okay. What the hell is that? And why do you think I need that? And go through, explain, and say, okay, well maybe. You gotta give it time. Step 2 is okay, maybe, and then step 3 is okay. Let's give it a shot.
So what's the last thing that you had to go through the 3-step process for?
Last thing is okay. Here, try it. But it's just basically it's time, giving her time to process. The new.
It could be anything.
The new thing.
A blender. It could be
a new
quad. It could be a new food. It could be a pair of glasses.
Yeah.
I got a 3-step process for everything.
Anything new. Yeah.
Sandy, I'm like you too. I need things to be introduced to me, and then I need to process it, and then I need to weigh all the options, and then
all
Rick
get
doesn't
along.
say maybe. He says no. Then he comes around.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
See?
I'm always,
See?
yeah, I shouldn't even be talking about positivity because I'm like the nope. And then I think about it, that's probably a good idea.
Really? Why are Rick and I even on this call?
You know what? I think for so my advice for males is obviously number one, stay attractive, stay in
Yep.
shape.
Hell yeah.
Right? Take care
For
of
sure.
yourself. Number two, do the small things. You may not know that they know that you took the garbage out or you changed the light bulb or you did, just the small things. I'm not saying it's a blue job, but if there's something that needs to get done, do it. And then number three is force time. So for us, like my wife will just cook all day, she'll work all day, she'll take care of the kids, and then she'll go to bed. And I'm like, hey, we're watching Saturday Night Live on Saturday. Like, there's no, and you're staying up. Like, there's no, what is it called? Negotiation here.
Yeah.
Like, this is our time. The kid, we'll put him on a phone, and you know what I mean? Like, this is us, you and me. So, number one, stay attractive. Number two, do the small things. And then number three is force the time. Because if you don't force the time, there's just always going to be something else to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, make it a priority.
Absolutely.
But having said that, you also want to have your own time. And I think,
100%.
Especially in a time like now when we are forced and stuck together, even if that means you jet off for a walk for an hour, but just to be by yourself. But yeah, I agree with everything. Great points on all three of you, but a little bit of alone time is good too. And also keep your own hobbies. Right? Don't become one person. It's still be separate, right? So
Have your separate hobbies.
Bro time.
Absolutely, bro time. Sure, guys hang out with the guys, girls hang out with the girls.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Netflix.
Actually, that was one of the challenges that I had with Jen the other day. Is she was bothered by something, and such a typical guy. I already forgot what the hell she was bothered by. But anyways, and she wanted to talk about it, and I just thought, you know what, babe? It's not that I don't want to help you. I just can't. I can't help you with this. And I said, call Jen King. She's one of our members here.
Yeah.
And, that's what she needed. She needed a 3-4 hour conversation and she felt better. And it wasn't that I was trying to dismiss her or go somewhere else to do it. I just knew that I didn't have the mental capacity to help her out, So that's one of the things that we try to be is very honest with each other and be like, listen, yes, I'm here for you, but maybe I can't help you with this. And your point about, it takes a village to make someone healthy. And I feel like that's exactly the point. Like you got to have, I need the RJ and the Jerome time. She needs the girl time. I think everybody, you got to have a lot of people in place to help you. And you should never necessarily rely solely on your partner to solve all your problems or to help you through it.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you guys handle fights? Do you fight? Do you disagree?
Disagree.
We
but,
just saw it. The 3-step process.
Yeah.
You saw that was me going, here we go.
Yeah.
I would say we don't fight. I mean, I've heard, in the past people get in, tumultuous relationships where there's a lot of yelling and screaming and name calling and stuff like that. And that's definitely not us. I mean, do we agree on everything?
No, not necessarily.
But not like fighters or anything like that. We just, talk it through and.
We leave the fighting for the ring for the match.
We leave. If there's gonna be fighting, there's gonna be trouble because with all the martial arts in this house, I mean,
stuff breaks.
People get injured.
I think part of it is because we're both into martial arts. There's a discipline, find a way to figure it out rather than to argue or fight about it. And I think that's just one of those things that's ingrained into the training. And,
totally.
And we're not looking for the fight.
Self-control.
We're not looking for the argument. If it happens, it happens. But we're looking to resolve.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is too, my uncle will love that I'm referencing this, but. Let's talk horoscope. So we're both Aquarius, and we're known to get along with everyone. I think we're the same sign. We were born around the same time, and the deep core of us, if you can see, I'm drawn to him constantly. The deep core of us, we're the same deep down, the same interests. There's a lot that is the same about us, but then we have just enough differences to keep it interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I have a question for everybody. All right, so it's going to be a verse. You get to pick one person. You ready? We're going to start with you, Sheldon. Daniel LaRusso or Johnny Lawrence?
Daniel LaRusso.
Sandy? Which one? Which one would you pick?
Daniel LaRusso.
Really? Rick?
I'm the other guy.
Here,
totally.
Johnny.
Totally the other guy.
I would feel you're more of a Johnny. Sandy, no? Sandy, no?
Isn't that funny? I'm all about Danny LaRusso. That is
Mr. Miyagi.
I'm a Daniel guy
Mr.
too.
Miyagi.
I think what those guys do over at Cobra Kai are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm motivated by it, but I don't know about that.
Yes.
Punch first, ask later. I don't.
Yeah.
I just see a lot of regret happening after that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm going to have one more question. And before you, let me give you some context. So my wife and I have something called pink and blue jobs, meaning she's never, ever going to take the garbage out, and I'm never going to scrub a toilet. And we just know that that's just how it's going to work in this relationship. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about the good old traditional roles? And do you have them in your relationship?
And you know what? We have our own traditions. Like
I don't go to the grocery store. Okay, if I go to the grocery store, we're not gonna have groceries for 3 hours. So this guy is the guy that goes and does the groceries, and I do all the cooking, right?
yeah, she does the cooking.
Oh, okay.
I do the groceries.
Good.
She'll do the dishes. I'll do the laundry. You know, or you know, if one of us is injured or whatever, we'll take over all the duties.
Yeah.
Who shovels?
With all the garage injuries, I'm doing all the laundry and all the dishes.
What's that?
Who shovels?
Oh yeah.
Actually,
we both do. We
Yeah.
both do.
I feel like that's a fitness thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll go shovel. Yeah, I'm just gonna. No problem. Another workout.
stretching video
Boom. I'm gonna eat a bag of nibs after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that's physical, I feel like fitness people are down with it. Just like pre-COVID, we're at a kind of party, I guess just a weekend Friday party, and everybody's kind of sitting around drinking, and I was splitting logs. I wanted to swing an axe.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at me like, what? Relax, coach. You know what I mean? Relax. Go sit down and have a drink. I'm like, I don't want to sit and do nothing, man.
Isn't that funny though?
energy.
Like if
Let's burn it.
you would have
I
put
love
a bunch of coaches in the same room, and you
Yeah.
started splitting logs, we'd all be out there throwing the logs, we'd be
Exactly.
chopping down trees.
Yeah,
If you
you
go
bet.
around people that don't work out, it's like, why don't you sit down, Rick, and have a drink?
I know. It's so weird to not do things sometimes, you know?
hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, guess what? We're at the end of our podcast. I want to thank you for coming on our show. You guys are great guests, and love
you
your
very much.
relationship. Guys, just dance it up for us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Awesome,
Thanks
guys.
very much, guys.
Sheldon, I'll see you soon, okay?